am Jovani from Alembic, the creative drinks agency that specializes in design, development and marketing of quality drinks education and beverage experiences. Alembic and ICCA Dubai together brings to you Cocktail Zero, the art of alcohol-free design drinks. Our certificate programs in dry mixology and bartending showmanship are designed not only for inspiring bar professionals working in the industry, but also for the serious enthusiasts interested in learning the art of mixology. Come, introduce yourself to the fascinating and soul-stirring world of alcohol-free designer drinks.
Good afternoon and welcome back to ICCA Live, World-Class Culinary Online. Today, we have yet another interesting session in the series of dry mixology and bartending, the Tiki Style. Without further ado, I would now like to hand over to our host, Shanaz Raja, Director of Courses at the ICCA Dubai. Over to you, Shanaz.
Thank you, Karun. Aloha. And indeed, it's Tiki Style drinks today, tropical, colorful and bursting with flavor. Today is our 8th webinar in the series Dry Mixology and Bartending. As most of you are regular attendees, I will not run through the topics, but however, if you've missed any, do let me know in the chat and I will email the links to you. For those of you who are with us for the first time, a very quick intro on Master Mixologist Jovani Depagola, fondly known as Mr. G. Mr. G has over 20 years of experience in the beverage industry in Europe and the MENA region, and he is also the co-founder of Alembic, a creative drinks agency that specializes in education and training. During this session with Mr. G, his questions to you will pop up as polls, and if you have any questions for him, do type them into the chat and I will take them up with him for you. Without taking more of your time, over to you, Mr. G.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Shanaz. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Karun, for the intro. And really, thank you very much for you guys to connect yet again with us. And today is really very interesting. We will talk about Tikki. So something like quite unique for some people. Some people still don't really know what really a Tikki culture is or what a Tikki cocktail is. So we are here a bit to clarify today. We will talk about the history, where is it coming from, because we always do through our courses. We like to emphasize the history behind each cocktail and then to understanding how to balance a Tikki cocktail. So what we did so far, this is our episode number 8. So we went through the entire fundamentals of the bar. We went through the glassware, the method and the technique. So how we're really utilizing better our glassware and our beautiful equipments that we have. And then, of course, we move into the understanding of the Cocktail Zero categories, because here is all about dry mixologies, and we showcase to you some Cocktail Zero. So it's an alcohol-free design cocktails. So the beauty here is that everything we're showcasing has got no alcohol involved. And what we try to really achieve is to give you the feeling, the full mouth, beautiful tasting buds, you know, really working on what exactly the sweet and sour balance is. The texture is important. The nose is very important when we do a tasting and when we actually really appreciating something. That's really when we going for a tasting, the nose is extremely important. And don't forget, we talk about visual. Visual element is extremely very important nowadays. We are understanding that the digital point of view, a lot of cocktails are now designed like the food in an Instagrammability way. What exactly means? They need to be appealing. They need to be really target a certain, I will say, a line of people that they're looking for something. So when we're designing cocktail, we should always keep in mind who we're targeting. And this is a very important. Simplicity, an ice block, that will probably go for a certain style of a classic cocktails. But then today we will see we're talking about really an interesting style of making cocktail, because it's all about flamboys and really creating those elements that makes the tiki culture very, very popular. Now, this is not something new, even if now we have kind of a revival that goes back literally started in the latest 1990s, then it goes really booming in 2000, and then today we really enjoy some fantastic bars and restaurants that design this Polynesian style, and then we call them the fantastic tiki culture that is inside, because from a bar staff, everyone dress up. As you can see me today, I made an effort. I didn't come with my usual apron and white shirt. Today I'm a more floral, and that's is all about. So the atmosphere around the tiki culture, the tiki bars and restaurants, is all about rattan wood, and there's a lot of florals. There's the hula hula situation going on. So it's a very, very nice, spices are involved. Those are the different flavors. So when this all started, it was pretty much after the Prohibition time. So for the people that are not familiar what Prohibition was, it was a time when in US, so we talk about in 1919, around 1933, 1934, depending on some states, where in the US, there was no alcohol involved. So there was a prohibition. It was the production, the sales, the consumption of alcohol was forbidden. Only the good alcohol was available, and that was through boozy prescription. So that was for medicinal purposes. We will probably dedicate something else to prohibition in details another time. So what happened then after? So we are in 1933, sorry. What happened there? A gentleman called the Beachcomber come up with an idea of really brings a bit of a interesting Caribbean look and feel to that. And that's where it was, the tiki culture starts slowly, it really starts creating, because at the end, the tiki, the Polynesian style, all those elements are really into a bit of you will see there are masks involved, there is an element of carving. So it's a very well connected. It's actually at some level, there was some religious ritual behind. So when everything started, of course, it took a bit of a time, and that was in California when everything started, in Hollywood, and slowly picked up. Probably the peak was in the middle of 50, where the Second World War people came back, and really also the veteran brought back some of that exotic feeling that they had, those beautiful flavors. I'm talking about passion fruit, pineapples. So when we're looking into a cocktails idea, we always look on some really robust style, quite intense of a cocktail, because imagine that these guys that were creating the grog. A grog was a mix of a different style of rum. So the rum is made from a sugar cane. It was a mix together, so it was quite intense, dark rum, spice. So when we always look on creation and the look and feel, it needs to be that kind of style. So this is something that we always look to have it. So what happened there? Then it was a bit of a decline, because during the time, after the 70s, there is a historical around that the 70s was the time when actually the vodka took over from the gin. So at the moment, what happened? There was not a major category they were really putting forwards, but what really was more like a mixed style of a really simple cocktail ware. So not a particular category, but it was a real mix. And that became until the 1990s, where the cocktail culture slowly come back. And this was done through the fact that the good bars comes and open, the bartender are starting to get to internet and sharing information. A lot of new magazine come out. So it was really interesting time till the 2000. And nowadays we have some fantastic guys really that promoting the tiki culture across the globe, from Miami to Tokyo, you will see. And that's why tiki is more than a cocktail, is a way of life. The people are really enjoy that feeling, that Creole feeling of when you go and have your spicy food in those restaurants. When you really go into, I think it was a mix at the beginning. The guys, when they set up the restaurant, was a bit of a mix of Cantonese cuisine. So there are elements of internationality. But what we need to have in mind, that's why the flavors are quite pronounced in a way. So that's why everything. And don't forget, all those cocktails that they were designed, that was done also to pretty much to promote and to attract a female crowd. Was really, because people were looking, that, as we said, you buy with your eyes. And ladies, you know that you are the best on doing window shopping, because you're dreaming. So when you see something that goes on a tray with the food, and normally those guys, they always dress up in those beautiful restaurants with the flowers around, so it really creates a very appealing. So that's why the tiki culture nowadays, people really enjoy. And I think what a better time now with, after all this interesting time that we are on, whatever you are connecting, probably if you want to have this exotic feeling, go and visit your favorite tiki bar, which is, I'm sure the guys will be more than happy to serve you fantastic cocktails. Now, I will say that before I'm actually going to make a cocktail today, because we have two great recipes I would like to show you, with also a couple of variation and twists, because not always we have access on a professional level that we do here in ICCA Dubai. When we do our courses, the guys, they go through professional equipments, and also some of the ingredients that are available to us, not always are available, let's say, on a large scales. So if you are a consumer that watching us from home or from your office, on your break, then we always happy to give you a substitution or a twist of a recipe so you can actually adapt. So Shanaz, remember me, I think we have a one small poll to talk to our friends here behind the camera, yeah?
Just published it. Can you see it, Jovani?
Oh, yes, I can see on my screen. Perfect.
Yes. When did the tea culture start?
Oh, okay. Beginning of 1920. Okay, now it's the mid-50. Okay, it's picking up. I like it. So it's 60-40. It looks late 70s, nobody's there. That's good. That's very good. I'm appreciate that you guys. This is also a tricky questions. You know me, I always throw you a little poll where you kind of like go in one direction, but then is another one. So majority of the people looks like they go in the 1920, Now, let's clarify here. 1920s was the start of the prohibition, precisely 1990. So the actually tiki culture start after, but didn't pick up really after the Second World War, was in the middle of 50s. So the correct answer on my screen here is the mid-50s. So for the people, they answered that correct. Thank you very much. That is well done. So that's what really happened. So 1920, prohibition, 1930, that was the end of, and then the guys, they start come up with some interesting, really new style. The beachcomber was the daddy of that. And then we have, of course, the evolution came, Tredebix, which many people know. There's a few syrup, they were working together. So there's a lot of stories there, beautiful to talking about. Let me make one recipe for you today. The recipe is actually another fantastic cocktail I can see on my screen here. It is beautiful because we call this Mai Tai Zero. So there's a different variation of Mai Tai. Really, normally we do with the rum base. So the rum can be light, dark, or gold. If you guys working with the alcohol, then in that case, you feel free to add your favorite. In this case, we stick to cocktail zero. So it's a Mai Tai Zero. What we have here, we have a bit of a pineapple juice. We have the touch of the lemon. And then we have the, I think we have some droplets there, if I'm gonna make a mistake. Yes, we have some tonka, very interesting. This is quite unique in terms of flavors. I always love it too. Oh, I love it. This tonka bean, really super interesting, the way these guys are veering that flavor. So what we're gonna have here is a beautiful mix. The technique is shaking. So this is where we actually going to make our cocktail. And then you will see we're gonna make in a beautiful, nice tiki mug. So those are the tiki actually glasses, because what really makes it very interesting, the fact that we can dress up our cocktail with a lot of different garnishes. We can have different flavors there and different things. So really cool. So I really like it. Now what we're gonna do, I will say, is the size of the glassware we are using here today is slightly larger than the one we have show to you. So I will have my the entire 120 milliliter of a pineapple, which will make it, which actually we don't have any carbonation. So I will actually have going for 150 here. So that's a very good, nice style. Then we got some lemon juice, and with here, voila. And that's pretty much gives a bit of a nice and balance of sweetness together. I will add the droplets, which are the tonka bean 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm gonna get the glasses here, voila. Now, those are interesting because those actually are glasses that are not made in glass or crystal. Those are actually polycarbonate. So those are perfect for your pool bar, you know, your outdoor, if you do brunches, large party. So those are your great companion. And they always look super nice and sexy, you know, the way everything is dressed up. So one more flavor I would like to add. I don't think we have this on our recipe because I like to twist it today. I will add some passion fruit. I want you to have some passion fruit. I got because today when I went to the actually supermarket, we go and buy our daily fruits and everything. I will have it. And then I will get here my fresh passion fruit. And now I will ask the guys also to pick for me from the fridge because we have this nice, the mint is just over there. So perfect for us to have the garnish and the finishing. So pretty much all the ingredients are there. And you can see is now pretty much here. There we go. We will shake it nice and beauty. Now, when we're dressing up our cocktail is super cool, fantastic. Thank you very much. I love it. Look at that. Thank you very much, Aditya. Grazie. This is why we kept our mint always nice and cold, because you can see when the mint stays in the fridge and it stays in a nice and cold environment with a bit of water, is gonna look precisely like that, nice and fresh. Love it, this style of mint. So this is our glass. So you can see the way we can dress up our cocktail is really is amazing, because I have here some nice, super interesting zest of an orange. What I did, I completely zest the orange. We will use the orange for another cocktail. And then if this one can be literally used for this cocktail here. And the way we go, we're going to put inside. So this cocktail here is a white canvas, so we can really go as we like it. It's super nice. When you go to enjoy the Tikki, is where you can add as much as you like it. Of course, adding flavors, adding garnishes needs something that really needs to make sense. Otherwise, will not make any sense to have it. So the orange flavor will complement with definitely with the tonka bean and with the pineapples that are inside. Now, is anything I forgot on the recipe and everything? Shanaz, if you want to put the recipe on, I want to make sure that I don't forget anything inside. Can you remind me that recipe? Make sure that we don't get, let's see, I know we have a few things there. Yes, that's the thing. 1, 2, 3, fantastic. The nocciola, this is what I show you guys. This is the one that normally, this is a great hazelnuts flavor. I really like it on this. It really works. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add that this is something that you find around. I will add, for our style, I will add this one, the hint of a sweetness with the farlenum. I love this. This is a mix of really, you have the ginger, you have the vanilla, you have the star anise. So it's a bit of a really, really cool mix. And I really like it. So what I will do, I will just put a 5 milliliters of this one. This is it's called actually falernum. So beautiful. No, I would say not often find in a commercially. So pretty much all the bartenders are using. So I really like it. Why? Because I'm going to try these cocktails. I want to make sure it's up to my taste and I like it. So are we ready? We give a nice shake it. Beautiful. And there we go. Now, My passion fruit seeds are nice and stacked. So what I will do, I will take it because I like to have the passion fruit seeds inside. Oh, look at that. Excellent. Superb. Beautiful. So this really, it gives that feeling. Now, what we do here, I really like to have a nice passion fruit inside. So in this case, there we go. I will actually add some nice passion fruit here. And then, why not? Eh? A nice spring on the mint on this side. So really, when we look at the actually cocktail, it needs to have those kind of frame and look and feel. And then we have, of course, we have our straw that will go all the way inside. Voila, till the end. We add the mint here, beautiful. And I will present to you as it is. You can see. So those nice faces are there. So those are dedicated. And what I really liked about this one is that the flavors of the cocktail, it has all those elements. So let me try now. I like the touch. You know, is it's quite intense because that's what really is all about when you taste something tiki. It needs to have that intensity, that fully flavor. So that's the beauty. And then you can play around. You know, you want to soften up, you play with some herbs. If you want to play with some nice passion fruit, you know, is all together. So you see me, I added the recipe. Really can have a variation. I found this passion fruit today. They were nice and ripe, ready to go. And then why not? That's why we're using. Now, really is up to you how you want to dress your tiki, but this is probably the way look and feel. If you don't have a glass like this, then you can actually use just a glass we saw, and then you can dress up as you like it. You know, there's a different variation, different style. I would like to show you another garnish that can go in this kind of idea. Is probably can be a nice lemongrass, which I have here. Let me show it to you. Today, when you are talking about tiki, is something that you guys should remember. Is 1 second, let me move here so you guys can see much better here. So when we say a tiki, is really, guys, I want you to understand that our creativity needs to go all the way. So a lemongrass is made like that. It has all these layers. So sometimes it gets difficult to catch. So let me show you what I do normally. I really like to do this one. And to extrapolate all the flavors here, we're crashing, like that. So here you will release all those flavors. Beautiful, nice. And then you can see all the fibers. And I tell you guys, when you are here, you can smell, and I'm sure the guys behind the camera can smell the lemongrass. And this is another add element. So if you don't want to add the mint here, you can add the lemongrass inside. So really, it's up to you how you want to dress up your cocktail. Is a very important to use it. Now, the lemongrass will add a lot of different flavors because it's the style of the quite lemony and quite zesty. So feel free to use this. I love the lemongrass. So really, it works very well with the pineapple. So feel free to really use it as you like it. Now, that was the lemongrass. Oh, I smell, I love it. I can see the guys there behind the camera. They really want to get that idea. So let's see. Let's take this away. It's a shame. I will come back on this one. So let me get this here. Now, what we're going to do? Let's have, I think, Shanaz, we have a second poll before we move to the second cocktail, correct?
Yes, I published it. And the question is, what flavor characteristics do we need to find in a tiki cocktail?
Wolf, exactly. I can see from my screen. Thank you very much. So we have, okay. I like that. Everyone so far, they went straight to robust and fruity. Well done, bravi. Absolutely. When you talk about Tikki, we are talking about something quite intense. So it's not, we saw in our different categories when we designing cocktails, is very important. What is the end user? So what we are like to achieve. We saw in aperitif style, we want something that stimulate our appetite. So the bitter elements need to be present. When you look into food, then you want to have something that really match the understanding of a food pairing. So if you have something with a bit of fat and oil, you want to play with the citrus, light carbonations. And then when you saw actually the outdoor cocktails, another great category, very light, very bubbly, quite herbaceous, so all this works. And now we move into the tiki style, which is something that you saw really needs those kind of flavor, quite intense. And don't forget, we also saw the teas and coffee. And of course, teas and coffee pretty much is a category on its own. And you know what you're looking for when you're designing something that really has, it needs to match the cream of the coffee. And I will say the beautiful aroma of the tea they can give to us. So this was the first cocktail of the Tikki with a very variation. And this is a beauty to know because you can really leave your creativity, go with the flow as long as you enjoy the fact that intensity of the flavors. Be careful on not making the Tikki going into the sweetness side because it's quite easy. So always use to balance the sweet and the sour in the flavors. That's very important. Sometimes, it can be difficult to balance. Now, cocktail number two. What do we have here? And this recipe is as simple as it is. Well, it's on my screen there. So let me show you. This is a blue curacao. Then we have some orange. Then we have some, that's it. Well, we have lime juice, yes. And then we have the Dasani tonic. So super simple. Beautiful syrup. It looks blue. People, now, when you know that, of course, a blue curacao, blue normally doesn't come to a nature style unless you set some flowers. Now, blue curacao, it was something that it was created quite a long time ago. Curacao is dedicated to the island where it's coming from, in the Caribbean island, close to Aruba. To Aruba, not Caruba. Aruba is the Dutch colonies. That's why actually the paternity of the first liquor, it was given to Bols, which is a brand that distribute liquors from Holland, and they actually claim that they created that idea of creating the blue because the flavor is quite citrus. It's also like triple sec if you look into the liquor. So it's quite orangey and quite bitter. It's Laranja. It's a type of an orange which has quite intensity and quite bitter style. So that's why we're combining with an orange today. Now, this cocktail is simple as it is. It still look very appealing. The fact of the really, you don't want to abuse because if you're using a liquor or a syrup, it's about a kind of sugary feeling. So we always say, don't forget 10 milliliter, 15 maximum, and then you cut with your favorite citrus. Can be a grapefruit, can be a lemon, or can be just a lime. So what we did today, the first actually name of this liquor was Ciel. It was Crème de Ciel. What Crème de Ciel stands for was the cream of a sky. So dedicated to the blue of the sky. That's what it was, the actually name. So it's very interesting. So what I did today, instead to give what about if we have the glass, we have everything, we got the blue, but then we want to have, the Tikki is all about the vessel also. So something that very stylish, that bring you that feeling to have a great cocktail now and not that look like blue. So let's see, what do I have today? Let me show you. I have this fantastic Tikki. We call this is a Tikki mug. This is an handmade piece from Sicily. The guys designing this called I Picciotti. So really, there's a beautiful story behind. In Italy, you find all those different regions that they have all those very fascinating story behind, between the men and the ladies. So they dress up. There was a fantastic story there behind. They dress up to get married, so they dress up as a man. So really, really very interesting story behind. So what we're gonna do here, will be our blue. So will be a nice blue. I will say it's a great blue sky. Is a nice, and this is where you going. In this case, we will go minimalistic in terms of the garnish because the vessel will do himself what we saw before. When in this case this is not transparent, so we kept also anything is not transparent, we keep simple inside, like we did on the other one. Otherwise, that is the one that we saw a bit of a different here. Let me show you here. This is the fact that it's transparent, really give us another opportunity to play around with the color, to play around with the what fruits we want to put inside. In this case, that's not important. So what is this cocktail? It's so simple, and you guys love it to replicate. I will have the orange. This is, I show you that the skin before we peeled, that is gone, so we use for the other one. And what we do here, we're going to squeeze the orange all the way inside, and pretty much around 3 lovely squeeze. And then I will go for a nice blue Curacao. Now, as usual, we say 10 to 15. Here we go. I will have just the 15 milliliter. This is a quite good, nice size of the actually the vessel. So this is probably will put around 250 milliliter inside. So it's a quite good size. And it's simple, I will just go and add my ice, and this is one of the techniques that you guys know is called build. I will add some Tassoni tonic water, but in this case I choose the Sambuco. So the flavor of this one is quite elderflower, so really work very well. So what we do here, I just would like to show you. Now you can see there is nothing happened from a visual point of view, but I guarantee it looks beautiful. Now it really match the color. You can probably see a bit of a bubble coming up there. Nice on top of the crown of this. And what we're gonna do for the garnish, here the simplicity works. So always work on the contrast of the color. Always works on contrast of the color as it is. There we go. And why not? Look how beautiful this will look. So in this case, I will show you a nice, fantastic twist. We also call this the horse's neck style. There we go. And look at that. And this is what we're going for. Excellent. I will see the face over here, and I will have my straw. My straw is completely transparent. So why? Because yes, you cannot see the actually cocktail color, but you can actually see now while I'm sipping. Check it out. Beautiful. You can really catch it. Oh, I like it. Let me show you this close to you. Look at this. Tell me this is not beautiful. I mean, it's just astonished. Fantastic. Look, the orange makes the great contrast. Actually, the taste is quite orangey. The mint brings a lot of freshness, and the cocktail is superb. Now, tell me if you guys don't like it, because then I will change the job. I love it, this one. So, what we have here, Shanaz, what do you think? Do you like the cocktail? Oh, I love it.
I'd like it better if I could taste it.
Okay. Well, we'll see later. I will make one. I will make one. 100%. So those are the two cocktails we actually made today. Two different styles, completely. One, I would say, more tropical. The other one, nice and fresh and citrus. So, tell me, what question do we have from our guests?
The first question is, can we get, is blue Curacao is normally alcoholic? Can we get a non-alcoholic version?
Absolutely. The one we are using is a non-alcoholic. This one here is actually is a syrup. It's quite orangey at the same time. Of course, the blue is a non-alcoholic. It's a food coloring, so quite safe, of course, and it's quite nice. I mean, it pretty much works. It works very well. I always say when you work with syrup, do not exceed the 10-50 milliliters, and always cut. Otherwise, will be quite, it could be too sweet. So we need to keep that quite balanced. I know is a preferable, is really up to us, but we'll say, it's always good to keep sweetness quite low. Yeah. So blue curacao, yes, is available. I think the one we are using, yeah, we have it here. The one we are using here, we have different brands. The one I just picked up is from Toschi, guys. Is an Italian brand, but every brand, they do, all the brands, you name it, Giffard, Monin, all the guys, they are doing their blue curacao. I mean, it's a very popular across any syrup brand, and all the liquors, they have it. So all done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have a few private questions. The first one is coconut considered a Tikki ingredient?
Coconut considered a Tikki ingredient? Absolutely, yes, I will say. Coconut is associated a lot of time as outdoor, but you can use also the coconut shell, the nice mature, the brown, you can use as a shell. So really, coconut really works as a Tikki ingredient because of the flavor of that really tropical idea, and really to fill you. I mean, who doesn't want to have a nice fresh coconut, on a nice sunny day? So why not? So 100%, yes, it's a Tikki.
Okay, the next private question that I've got for you is, I like Tikki cocktails, but they're always too sweet for me. Is that the way they are supposed to be?
Okay, that's another good question, because we just mentioned about the level of sweetness. Very important to remember that yes, Tikki cocktails are quite tropical, are quite exotic, but we need to balance this. So they should not be sweet, they should be balanced. Of course, couple recipe, they tend to be a bit sweeter. However, we say to keep that low. So in general, no, they should not be too sweet, I will say.
Okay, and the same person wants to know what technique works best for you when making a Tikki cocktail, of all the techniques that you showed us earlier.
Okay, that's like this question. Someone probably has been watching our episodes. So regarding technique, we know why we are using certain technique for the end of result. So in this case, for sure, if you are using, so let's say the thickness of the product. So if you're using a bit of a syrup, and if you are using the fresh juices and all the spices, you probably the most common technique is like a good shaking that will allow all those to open. In this case, we're using carbonation, so a nice simple build up. But probably this is the least of the two to be used. So majority has a shaking, or then here at the school we also use the mixer, so to mix certain ingredients that really has a bit of a thickness. So definitely the most common is a shaking cocktail, because really allow a lot of the foaming and allow a lot of different to open all the flavors that we go into the cocktail. So shaking technique is my answer.
Very good. Okay, so if I can I use another glass instead of a Tikki glass to make a Tikki cocktail?
Yes, we can. I think we have, of course, normal glasses. Let's say you can use a classic highball like this one, or you can use a rocks glass. As long what is important, we understand what kind of flavor we're looking for and how we really dress up. You saw here a lot of going on. Here we play the cup here made the really already the cocktail. But if you go for something like this, then you saw my recipe. I saw banana leaves. Banana leaves is a great really ingredients for garnish, because you can go around the glass, so it would be easier to wrap the glass with the banana leaf inside, and that will already change completely. So that's the way. So you can use a simple, nice, beautiful riddle, fizz glass style or highball, whatever you guys are using in your own bar. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a question from Ajmal. Ajmal would like to know, can I get a recipe? Can you tell us a recipe with hibiscus and elderflower?
Hibiscus and elderflower. I think we should connect with the gentleman on a private. We covered these hibiscus, elderflower. Those are more really for outdoor, I will say. So you can make a simple recipe with hibiscus an elderflower with some soda or tonic water and probably a good, I will say, if you do an ratio, you will do 60 milliliter of hibiscus tea. Then you have a full tonic water of 150 milliliter, and then a bit of a lemon juice. That's already something super simple. So enjoy. But that's not a tiki. That's really pretty much, I would say, an outdoor style of cocktail. Yeah.
Another question from Shamim. She would like to know which brand of syrups are good for taste and flavor, but not too sweet for tiki to make a tiki cocktail.
Okay, that's a good question. Here, we work with different brands. We not affiliate with no one. So in particular, we keep really open. There's a lot of different brands there. A lot of them are really good. The most, the big brands we just mentioned before. I will say that a syrup is a syrup. So regardless which brand you go for, they're always gonna be sweet because that's what they do. That is a syrup, is a sugar with a flavor. So I will say if you're looking for something that's not sweet, you probably want to move into when you buy your fresh fruits, you can make it a puree, you can freeze, and then you can reuse it. Or you move into much more style of a puree, which are not really sugary. So that's the style. But if you look into a syrup, there is no really one that has less sugar than the other. They're all the same. Some of them, they do a category with the sugar-free zero, so they should have a 0%. So that's okay, but they're still, quite sweet. So my advice is that if you look for a syrup, always gonna be sweet. If you don't look for a syrup, work with the fresh fruits, and it's easy then to balance for yourself. Yeah.
So you had a lot of questions today, but one last one for you.
Fantastic.
So Sai Kiran wants to know, what is the best way to use watermelon in Tiki style?
Yeah, when you get a watermelon, beautiful. Always, we look for the one that are seedless, so no seeds are there, because watermelon, we all enjoy the juicy element. Is watery, is fantastic to use, is very versatile. Now, watermelon works very well with the fresh mint, works very well with the coconut, works very well with the pineapple. So really, and also with the basil. So there are elements. Now, basil, not really to be a tiki style, like a Turkey herbal, mint it is. So I will say a good way to use the watermelon. If you do watermelon balls, then you can use as a garnish, if you use as a juice. So probably you want to match with some, for sure, a coconut, a pineapple works, and then why not also some element of spiciness. If you look, a bit of a cardamom also works with the cucumber, with the watermelon, and also watermelon works with the cucumber. Don't let's forget, pretty much are the same family. So this is my advice on that style. Yeah.
Okay. Stevenson would like to know, what are your top 5 favorite mocktails, Tiki style mocktails?
There's plenty of them. Top 5. I normally will say to drink or to make it. That's always a bit of a different. We have all different recipes. Probably we can send this the person that asked a question. We can send them the few names, because when we do Cocktail Zero here, we only inspired by the original, which are made by alcohol, and it's like the zombie, the Mai Tai. Those are really, really into. So there is a lot of to talk on how to style and everything. Sometimes names they don't recall. We go into more flavor than you understand. So we're happy to connect and to get a bit of and share some of our recipes. Why not? No issue. No secret with us. No secret.
So that's all I think for now.
Fantastic. So excellent. So what I will say, thank you very much. Thank you guys to be, for the people that have been watching us all for the entire series, and also today we've been talking about Tiki style. So the Tiki was a culture started beautiful after the Second World War. Really picked up with the entire enthusiasm of really enjoy the life. It started around 1933 after the Prohibition, but really picked up. Then he had a down, and now is up again, like not tomorrow. This is the cocktail we're making. Beautiful vessel, fantastic flavors. So very much. So from Mr. G here in ICCA, thank you very much, guys, to watch. And I will pass to you, Shanaz, and have a lovely rest of the day. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. G, for this amazing, amazing show on Tiki Style cocktails. I think I learned with everyone and really appreciate what I learned from you. Look forward to having every one of you back with us on Tuesday next week, same time, same place.
Right. Thank you, Shanaz. Thank you, Jovani, for this fantastic session. I've already have my eyes on the mic I0, which is in front of me. After the session, I'm going to have a quick sip. As always, you can download the recipes from the handout section. Also, an email will soon follow with the replay video of this webinar, together with the handouts as well. Lastly, we encourage you to recreate the recipes taught demonstrated today and share them on your social media platforms by tagging Liquid Element at ICCA Dubai. Not to forget, we'll be live next week on Tuesday. So goodbye from all of us here and see you soon.